Welcome to another edition of Yacht Life Chronicles, where we are better together than separated. I brought a friend of mine in today. He's a man of many talents, many gifts. He's a high-spirited person. He's been through a lot in his life. Me and him I've experienced a lot of that, a lot of those deep, abysmal things that he went through in his life, a lot of adversity. I had the pleasure of meeting him when we was at Parnell.
Yeah, but we've been a couple places together.
Yeah, and we're going to get to that because, listen, me and this guy, we've been through a lot, and like today is a good day for us to really, for two guys to take the adversity, for anybody out there that's trying to need help, trying to push themselves forward and think they fail. Nobody's been the biggest failure like me and him. Hey, listen.
Now it ain't an option.
And I mean, we're going to talk about domestic violence too. Because I want us to be able to touch bases and be able to speak with you guys about real life, And I want to talk to y'all about some of his talents that he have going on, that he come to share with us, But without further ado, can you tell my fans who your name?
My name Maze. Real name Amacia. I only use that when I want to be a gentleman, though.
So who gave you that name, Amacia, man?
Man, my mama, man.
It was always a unique name to me. It was just always a unique name to me because we used to be in this DV class, and they used to be. What's your daughter's name? Amazing.
Amazing Grace.
Oh, so your name is Amacia, and your daughter's name is Amazing Grace.
I got a daughter going
wow,
to
that is
school
a
to be
very
a judge. Her name Demasia. Then I got my little junior, little Maisie. Then my daughter Venturia.
You ever looked up what that name represent?
Huh?
You ever looked up to see what that name represent?
It means burden hardship.
Wow,
that's
burden hardship.
Yeah. So basically, they saying I'm a burden. I know I done had some hardship, but I ain't never been a burden on nobody. Probably with my mama.
How many times you been to the joint?
6. Every time, like you say, you want to talk about domestic violence. Every time I've been to prison, I went because a female called the police on, and it wasn't that I went with like drugs every time, I haven't touched no drugs since 2016. I've been like productive, but like I'm not gonna say I'm an angel. I didn't
let's go back 1 second. I want us to, because like I said, it's a lot of things that me and him are going to touch on, but I want to back up for a minute. With the domestic problems, the DV situations that, because both of us was in the class. I had a domestic situation, I let my emotions and my anger get out of control. He let his anger and these emotions get out of control. So we both was on parole. So they held us at Saginaw County Jail. We was there for some months fighting the case. And once I had beat my case, I was charged with attempt to do great bodily harm, less than murder, or by strangulation. And I never had strangled anybody, I just I pushed a person, an individual, and I put my hands on it, I'm not gonna lie. But I learned from it.
Exactly.
I learned from it. I went to what was that in Detroit? DRC?
Yeah,
Detroit.
Yep,
Detroit Retention Center.
Yeah.
They made us take bridges, and we had to go to this class. We was in prison based on this program. The program was like a year-long program for us.
No, that program wasn't that long, bro.
It was 90 days, but we was there almost a year. But we was there almost a year because you had to wait like 90 days to 120 days just to get even in the program. And then this program that we was in, this domestic program that we was in, was a very intense program. We had to go in there every day. We had to accept responsibility for what we did. We had to speak our victim's name. And we had to, you remember how that went? Somewhat?
No, yeah, every day we used to get in there. Remember, we used to have to light the candle.
Yeah, we have to light the candle for the class.
Yeah, for
and
like,
then you have to say a positive.
Yeah. And then you have to say what you did to this person.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't do it. That's why the program was so hard, remember, because people, remember, I didn't have to admit to it. Because once they looked into my thing, they was like, yeah. Because at that point, I didn't do that. And I'm not saying I ain't never put my hands on the female, but I didn't do that situation. You know what I'm saying? So, like.
But we here to just be able to help other people, use our adversity as a platform to help other people, because like I say, we human. Not only that, we human. We being real on this show.
Exactly.
And the only way for people to move forward is to be real with themselves.
Exactly.
And me and him coming to this podcast, opening up to y'all and telling y'all about our life and going through these classes, and yes, we have put our hands in, we apologize, and we'll never do that again.
Yes, I haven't touched
we will never, ever put our hands, things happen, and we was wrong. Religion. No man should ever do that. So any of my viewers out there, no man should ever put his hands on a woman. To my older viewers, younger viewers, all my viewers, do not put your hands on a woman, We learned a lot from that. We went through that class. I was in there. I was in there for like 7 months, before I came home. But I learned a big lesson from that, And I was able. And at that point in time in my life, that was when I was able to start gaining control of my emotions, being in this facility and going through this class, because this class teaches you intense. Impulse control.
Yes.
That's what it is. It's an impulse control class.
But listen, you relive, because every day you got to apologize to this person that you assaulted, whatever. You relive that moment every time. You know what I'm saying? So it's like every day we go to class, we got to relive and say what we did to this person.
You have to relive.
You know what I'm saying? And we got to basically, they make you repent for it, basically.
And this person that you in there don't even know, right? So
they don't know.
We opening the doors up to.
We got to write. Remember, I was writing poems.
We had to write a lot of stuff.
We had to write a lot of stuff about that. And that's what really, that class, like a lot of people go there and be like, I've been to Bridges 4-5 times. I bet I would never go. That was my first and my last time going to Bridges, because I learned my lesson at that point. You don't want to sit there, the people you hurt, you don't want to just keep on just bringing it up, because how you going to get forward past that moment to become a better person? You know what I'm saying?
So how do you think, how can we bridge the gap on controlling our emotions in domestic violence situations?
We gotta let go of our ego. We gotta let go of our ego for one, because our ego be so big, we ain't gonna let nobody tell us nothing, or do nothing to us. You know what I'm saying? And I used to do stuff to females so they would hit me, and I would hit them back. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even gonna lie. I was toxic as a motherfucker. Excuse my French. I was toxic as hell. But it wasn't.
When did you get to the point that you realized that you was toxic?
That, like in 2016, my last long prison bit, you know what I'm saying, to let me know this ain't what, because I was doing stuff which was insane, because I was doing the same thing expecting the different result. You know what I'm saying? Right. Every female I had was toxic. You know what I'm saying? Like my lady now, man, I don't do nothing to get her into the toxic mode. And she don't do nothing to get me in the toxic mode. So I'm happy with
So y'all compatible. Y'all. So in other words, y'all know each other love language.
That's what when you just was telling me about the love languages. I'm like, oh yeah, I got that down packed right now. And I know my baby watching me. Hey, Beezy, baby.
So what's one of your love languages that your lady communicate with you well on?
Like making me laugh. I love to be happy. If I ain't watching Food Network, I'm watching comedy.
Yeah. What's one of her love languages that you communicate with her on?
Just my baby like a lot of attention. You know what I'm saying?
And that's
and I'm a chef. So you want all the attention, come in the kitchen with me. That's where we can sit there, Hey, and then if we want to, she want to turn the dessert, we take it upstairs somewhere, But right now we cooking and let's talk and let's,
And I can tell they happy. I can tell they happy too. But to you guys out there and to my viewers out there, I want to be most open and honest with you as I can, you know what I'm saying, about my life, about my friends' life that I bring on the show, because we've been through a lot, you know what I'm saying. There's really not nothing that probably we haven't been through, you know. And to be disrespectful to women, to treat them like they ain't shit, you know, we got to do better than that. You know, and on this podcast, you know, like I said, you know, I've been through it. I've done that. I've apologized to any and every woman that I've ever hurt or maybe put my hands on or whatever. But in the same sense, I've learned from that. I've learned from my mistakes. I've learned from my my uncontrolled emotional behavior. You know, I'm able to school those emotions to obedience now. You know, I was young. I was dumb. You know, and I'm happy to just be able to have another chance at life, you know, to have a rebirth, you know. And sitting down here today with Maisie is real special, you know, because this is something that me and him went through together, you know, and we had to, you know, share this pain and this hurt together, you know, because we had hurt people, you know. Fuck our hurt. You know, it was about the people that we had hurt
and that's
to end up in that position.
That's what we'll never realize. You know, we look at them, I'm hurt, man, I'm locked up and shit. But look at the motherfucker excuse my friends. Look at the person we hurt. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's how it goes. Right. Like, you gotta look at like empathy. It's empathy. Right. Knowing, you know, having feelings for somebody and how they feel. You know what I'm saying? Straight up.
Being able to feel what they feel. Being
empathetic. That's all it's about. Once you can learn, like, and feel how somebody else feel, because I don't care no matter how my life was going, I'm hurting like or whatever, and I hurt somebody else, I hurt inside about that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
because at the end of the day, we good dudes. Yeah. You know, we're not atrocious animals. You know, and we good dudes. So for a person to hurt somebody else and not hurt inside, and I mean, especially when that person had been there for them, or that person they had any type of emotional connection with, they what?
They heartless. You know what I'm saying? Like, have you ever looked at somebody like me? Whenever I meet somebody, you know, and I don't like to meet a lot of new people. So, like, when I meet somebody, I look dead in their eyes. If your eyes look like black pits, I ain't going to hell with you, baby. Let me go ahead and let you go right now. You know what I'm saying? For real. If I don't see no sincerity in your eyes, I don't even there. For real.
What's the longest relationship you ever been in?
Man, the longest relationship I've been in is probably my daughter, Maze mama. That was probably I'd say about 5-6 years.
Okay. You ain't never been married?
Yes.
How many times?
Just once. To the amazing mom.
Okay.
Yeah, I just been
so married. What's the most important thing you to learn, you know, like going through relationships, man, and dealing with women? Like, what's the most important thing that you to learn?
Like me, now I learned, like, don't bottle my feelings up and then want to explode later. If I got something on my chest, I'm finna get it off right now. We can either settle this now, or, you know, but I'm gonna settle it right now. Cause I ain't finna be walking around stumping all around the house all day and all that.
How important is it for you to get to know your mate, as to where you know your mate, and even when you're not around your mate, you know this is how your mate acting, because you know all your you know all her or his potential. Yes, you know what I'm saying? So how important you think that is? And
that's real important for you to get to know somebody. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about when your birthday is, our anniversary, of that. You want to know her deepest. You know what I'm saying? Some stuff I don't care if a woman keep away from me. You know what I'm saying? Right. But let me get to know you, your character. You know what I'm saying? So I can help you. I can help you with anything that you going through, and you could, like me, I can sense when something wrong with my girl. She ain't gotta say nothing, and she can do me like that the same way. You know what I'm saying? Vice versa.
So y'all got telepathy.
Yeah.
Right.
Everything is just like we in tune with each other, and like I'm straight. I know I'm gonna marry my girl. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
she 12 years younger than me, but like she
in most of your relationships, have you been the older one, or they been?
No, every one of my relationships, they was older than me, way older. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I just turned 40, so yeah, like they was way older than me, and like her now, like I'm not knocking what they did back in the day and all that, cause I was the terrorizer. You know what I'm saying? I was the hoe of the thought. That's what you said, what they say. You know what I'm saying? So, like, at this point now, like my girls support me on everything. You know what I'm saying? Like my business, I done started on Amazing Creations and Designs, me cooking, remodeling houses. She supports me on everything. My landscaping business, I'm finna open up next month. You know what I'm saying? She there with me on everything. You know what I'm saying?
So how important is that to have a supportive partner that's with you on everything that you're trying to do? Important. Because we was talking about on a couple shows, a couple last shows, a couple shows ago, about the fact that you have couples that become incompatible because the other party don't want to help the other party succeed in none of their business endeavors. So how important is that for your partner to be engaging in your business endeavors and able to help you and help you to maximize your potential?
Yes. See, I'm the type of, it's real important. I'm the type of person like my fiance, she sing everything, but she ain't been singing and all that. I'm finna build a studio for her, so she can go ahead and do her thing. It's so much, you know what I'm saying? And she do the same support for me, you know what I'm saying? That's like it's vice versa. I love the shit out of her, and I know she gonna ride with me on any situation. You know what I'm saying? When I was broke, I just broke down and out a few months ago. Now I'm straight. I'm gonna be straight for the rest of my life. I don't want for nothing. You know what I'm saying? For one, I ain't rich by no money. I'm rich in spirit. You know what I'm saying? No matter what I do, I got God by my side. 100%. So inshallah.
Okay. I see that when we was locked up, I see that you was real strong in your spirit. I see that you was real strong in your faith.
Yes.
What is it that you've been through to make you so strong in your faith and to make you?
Yes, for one, I done been possessed by a demon. God came and got me then. I done been shot multiple times. God came and got me then. You know what I'm saying? God didn't always been there. And and sometimes, matter of fact, it really take prison. Because you see how guys come to prison, they be all in the book and all that stuff. I didn't go to church all in prison. I studied right there in my room and thank God for what he did for me. Every time I went to prison, I didn't blame God for, you done sent me to prison. I blame God for saving my life. I mean, I thank God for saving my life for sending me to prison. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know what tomorrow's what's going to happen tomorrow. Tomorrow ain't promised us. You know what I'm saying?
So a lot of those times when you went to prison, do you think that you were supposed to have been there?
Yeah, at that point I didn't. But now as I look back at it, yeah, I was supposed to have been there.
You think you grown from it?
Yes. Like I always look at I always thought, man, I'm 34 right now, I'm grown. No, I wasn't grown. I just got grown last year, really. You know what I'm saying? Because I got grown to where I could sit there and not act on impulse. You know what I'm saying? Now I feel
you in school your emotions to a decent
yes.
You're more in control of your emotions.
Yes, I'm in control. I can.
So how can you explain? I want you to explain to my viewers out there what were some of the things that you did on learning how to school your emotions to obedience. Did you first start off by reading anything?
I started off by meditation.
Calmness.
Twice a day, 15 minutes a day, transcendental meditation.
Right.
Yes. And I learned it off of, you really gotta, to really do transcendental meditation, you gotta have a mantra. And it come from, they got this foundation called the Bobby Lynch Foundation for people that can't afford it and all that. You've been to prison, post-traumatic, been shot. You can go to the the Bob Lynch Foundation and ask them, can you talk to I forgot the guy's name, but he'll give you a mantra. A mantra is a word. When you're meditating, you saying this word in your head over and over and over. and all your dreams and goals and that you want to put into fruition starts to come to you like, oh yeah, and then you strategizing it in your mind like, okay, I can put it together like this. They transcendental meditation, they call it getting in touch with the God in you.
So you're going in touch with yourself and getting in touch with the
God in you. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Getting in touch with your own spirit, clearing your mind.
Yes.
Just meditating and just. So how did you clear your mind like that? Because it's so hard for individuals these days to clear the driveway of their mind with the daily life, work habits, kids, relationships, bills, things of this nature. How can you teach my viewers out there, how can they clear their mind to be able to just sit down and be able to meditate?
They say if you ain't got 15 minutes twice a day to meditate, then do it for 2 hours twice a day. So that be make time. You know what I'm saying? Make the time to do it. You don't want to give up 2 hours twice a day, 4 hours. You know what I'm saying? Right. So you can make them little 15 minutes.
So how important is that piece to have in your life?
It's real important, you know what I'm saying? And even people pray, when you praying, you gotta really reach out and you gotta want that prayer and you gotta believe you gonna do what you sitting there need to be doing. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, God ain't gonna wait on you. You know what I'm saying? But once he see you get your stuff together, everything will start falling into place, for real.
So I want to talk a little bit about your talents and your skills. When did you first get the desire to cook?
I've been cooking since I was 4 years old on the stove. This was when I was in Ohio.
Who was letting you play on the stove?
My grandma. I was born in Ohio. My grandma got me a little stool thing. She let me come up there. I be stirring the greens, flipping the sausages and everything. So one day I was like 4 years old. No, I was 5 at this time. My mama was asleep, ain't feeling good. I went in there and made her some toast, some sausage, some eggs, and I brought it to her. She was like, who cooked this? I was like, I cooked. You know what I'm saying? So I've been cooking. That's 5 years old is when I really been cooking by myself. Like, cooking saved my life. You know what I'm saying? Multiple times. I remember when my brother Lee, they used to smoke weed all day. You know what I'm saying? Food basket at the time. So hamburger meat, cheese, everything that they had sliced by the pound and stuff. So I go cut a grass, give me like $10, $15. Then I go invest that $10 in some hamburger meat, a pack of hamburger buns,
right?
Some Miracle Whip or something. Miracle Whip. I was only probably, at this time, I was like probably 8 or 9.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So you learned entrepreneurship.
So yes, and I go back and I make them 8 burgers. You know what I'm saying? I go up there and stuff. My brother and them be in there smoking weed. I go up in there, burger juicy, fresh cut French fries, because they had the bags of potatoes up there too. Fresh cut French fry, eating the burger and stuff. And they smoking. They looking like, man, you got some more of them? You know what I'm saying? Be like, man, I got 1 left. They go to bid on it. Like, man, I give you 5 for it. You know? Bro be like, I give you 10. My cousin T Sparks
I know.
T Sparks be like, I give you 15. I come up out of there like $20 worth for 1 burger. You know what I'm saying? Right. And then I take that money and I go flip that again. Oh no, but then I got more burgers. They be like, I thought you only had 1. I come back up there with like 3 or 4 of them. Then I cut them deals. Then give me 7 for this. You give me 5 here. You know? So I go spend $10 at food basket, and I come out with like 60. You know what I'm saying? I pocket my little stuff, go get me some shoes or some clothes, shirts or whatever.
You've been an entrepreneur early in the game, y'all.
That's how I first started like hustling food. You know what I'm saying? But like cooking, that's my passion. Like I smoke cigarettes and I smoke cigarettes. But when I'm cooking, I don't even smoke a cigarette. And I could be in there cooking for like 8, 9 hours. You know what I'm saying?
So what do you think the food industry is missing?
Me.
Okay, good answer.
Me?
Good answer. Good answer.
Yeah,
so what's so different about your food that's
everything I do, like every sauce, everything, I make everything from scratch. You can come over there and request for something to be cooked. I'm going to cook it right in front of you. I got all the
So get my viewers out there. Get them a special secret when they cooking crab legs.
Give them a special, man. See, I make all my spices, man. I make all my spices from scratch. So, I mean, like, crab legs, I'm going to tell you, like, they got these aluminum pans that come with the aluminum lid on them. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Put your crab legs in there. Put all your little special seasonings that you want on there. And throw them in the oven on 375 for 15 minutes. And they going to steam inside the oven in that aluminum pan with the lid over it. 15 minutes, they going to come out perfect. You know what I'm saying? They going to come out perfect.
Okay. So do you got any special sauces? Do you
Yes.
make your own?
Yes, I got my sweet and sour sauce. Like, you wonder, like, the Chinese people going to envy this when I bring it out. But it's all fruit-based.
Okay.
Everything is fruit in this, you know. You used to get my fried rice from me when we was at Parnell with the sweet and sour sauce.
Yeah, hey, listen. This man, when we was in the joint, this guy would cook so good, I would have a room full of food.
Yeah.
But man, I just could not cook that rice, and I could not cook them delicious meals like he was cooking. He could cook. He could take everything from off the prison commissary and make it a real delicacy. Like this man to make you realize, like, wow, like, man.
Remember Pooh, like, say if me and you cook, Pooh be over there mad in the mug. Yeah, man, you did that again. He ain't let me get in on the cookout. You know what I'm saying?
Because everybody wanted to get in on amazing cookups. His cookups, his food is amazing. And I used to be mad, man, when I couldn't
when
cook
you
up with
been
this
out,
guy.
it's the same thing.
Because I wanted this guy to cook for me so much, and that's when I realized that he had a passion and he loved doing what he doing. So, what are some of the things that you, as far as like, what are you doing as far as like with your cook world? Could my people tap in with you at? And
yes, they can just pop in on my page, Maze Gains.
With your IG.
No, I ain't on Instagram. I'm on Instagram, but I do everything off of Facebook. You know what I'm
Facebook.
Saying? Yep, Facebook, Maze Gains. You'll see, and you go on there.
You'll see a lot
of my food. You know what I'm saying? A lot of my food. I'm finna start a podcast like you. It's gonna be called Real Life Ministries, and I'm finna start my little cooking show too. So.
Right.
As soon as I start on that, I'm gonna make sure that I come actually bring me back on here so we can do this again.
We're better together than separated at the end of the day.
Exactly.
You checked out Trick Daddy Cooking Show yet?
Yeah.
You like it? I watch it all the time.
I mean, I love cooking. You know what I'm saying? Right. I love cooking.
So what are some of the special things that you like to cook? Like, what are some of your favorite dishes?
I say like lasagna, Spanish food, steak, lamb chops. I love cooking seafood. You know what I'm saying? All different types of ways. You know what I'm saying?
So is there a kitchen in the future?
Yes. That's why I'm just starting. I had something that was going on, and then it ain't happened how I wanted to. And instead of me letting it get me overwhelmed by me not moving into this building, I just went on here and was like, God, got something better for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a person, like you said, many talents. Like, I'm finna start, like, all the way, like, a construction company. And that's going to pay for all my restaurants because I want my restaurants to be a franchise. Mm-hmm. My daughter's name is already trademarked amazing. You know what I'm saying? Licensed, everything. So, like, you got to pay me to use her name. So, so once I get but I know that I got to put some blood, sweat, and tears in there. Mm-hmm. In my other profession, that's remodeling houses, doing landscape, all that type of stuff. And that's going to pay for my other stuff. Like, I give myself a 2-year goal. Mm-hmm. And that's for me to have enough money to buy buy my family a house. Right. You know what I'm saying? Buy my mama.
Goals is important.
Yes,
we have to goals.
My 5-year goal is just to open up my franchise restaurant. I want to probably open up 3 or 4 of them at a time.
Okay. And speaking of business, to all my viewers out there, before we get out of here, I want all you guys to know, because the SBA doing a lot. I've been hearing a lot of people trying to get money, and they don't have a business license. To all my Michigan people, file your business license with Laura. $50 if you mail it. I think it's $100 online. Go to irs.gov, get your EIN number. Your EIN number is free. Start on that today. Because once you get started on that, then you gotta file taxes, and you have to wait at least a year. So the thing about that is if you're going to get this money and you're going to try to network and move your business forward, you got to get your business license, get your EIN on irs.gov. An EIN is an identification, it's a social security number for your business.
Yes.
And also, then you will be able to file your taxes down the line. But the first thing is first, let's get this LLC EIN out the way, and so we can get some taxes filed and be able to move your business a little further, and we'll be able to reach out and touch some of these grants and these different loans and things like that. Other than that, I want to say that I had a great time bringing Maisie to the show today. I wanted him to talk to you about just a lot of things that he has going on in his life. You know, he's just a special person, and, you know, very endearing, very, very good-hearted person, you know. He mean well, you know. We're going to be bringing him back to the show. We're going to be bringing some of his dishes.
Yes,
you
and
know,
I got some other people I want to bring along too. That they ain't with me, but I got some people I want you to interview too. That's been through the struggle. That's overcomers. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting all over.
We're taking all adversity and putting it on the platform for somebody else to be able to stand on it and do what? Capitalize.
Exactly.
So we are better together than separated. This is another edition of Yacht Life Chronicles. Thank you for tuning in. You can catch me on YouTube at Yacht Life Chronicles. You can catch me on Instagram at Yacht Life 1976, and you can catch me on Facebook at 42 Yacht Life. Thank you again for tuning in. This is another edition of Yacht Life Chronicles.